Thanks.
I'd like to introduce Mark Katsounas to our audience. And you got a lot of comments in the chat, and I know everyone enjoyed it. So thank you for your program.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It was interesting not only to listen to, but also to watch how you were engaged with all these instruments. I play the piano, so it's like one instrument, it's always there. And I was thinking with you, it's like you have just this world of instruments that you're tapping into. And I wanted to ask how you became acquainted with the instruments you used, or why you picked those particular instruments.
Well, I think, as drummers and percussionists, we tend to, regardless of the style of music you're doing, you're frequently running around playing a few different things, whether it's symphony or concert band or chamber music. You have to play a lot of different instruments. But I was drawn to, kind of hand percussion late in high school. I saw a performance by a percussionist that specialized in hand drums. And so that led me to kind of pursue that. And then along the way, just discovering sounds and instruments from other cultures and slowly building a collection of all these different sounds over the years.
It's like you have a solo act, because like all the playback and everything, it sounds very full.
Yeah, I mean, managing the different tracks can be a little overwhelming at sometimes. So it definitely took a little practice to kind of figure out how to bring things in and out and keep it full, but also not, too full, I guess.
Mm-hmm. There's a kind of counterpoint.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Just playing with different levels of texture and trying to get the sounds to interact in interesting ways without covering up each individual sound.
Mm-hmm. What were the last instruments? It looked like these brooms or something.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, those brooms are actually, they were brought to me by a friend she's here at this concert. My friend Paula took a trip to Morocco, and I asked her, in Morocco, they make these brushes. They're just giant brushes. And she brought them back from Morocco for me about a year ago. I love them because you can kind of rustle them together. You can use them on different drums. There's a lot of different textures and sounds you can get from them.
So did she know you probably would like to have these?
She did, and she's a fellow musician and a sound maker as well. So she's definitely well acquainted with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a lot about the timbres and the qualities of sound, but then what you do with it. There's sort of a hypnotic, you kind of get into the groove of what you're doing, and then there's a lot to listen to as well.
Exactly, right. And trying not to build up the texture so quickly so that you can have time to listen to things as they build as well.
Mm-hmm. Well, great. Well, thank you so much.
I appreciate it, Mark. Thanks everyone for
You're very welcome. Thank you. So we apologize for the cut in the Chopin. What we'd like to do is replay it so we can hear the whole piece. And I think we can do that if you just hold on a second. And following, okay. So what we're going to do is we'll have our question and answer with Nuno, and then we'd like to replay the Chopin. So I'd like to introduce Nuno Marquez, if he's unmuted.
Hi, Mark.
Hi, Nuno. Bravo.
Great to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your beautiful playing.
Thank you.
I wanted to ask you about the Beethoven, and it's such a wonderful and famous work. I'm curious what your insight is into it in terms of how does it speak to you personally as a performer?
Well, it's a great piece in itself. It's wonderful. It's just a great piece to listen to, and especially to play. It really is very special for pianists to be able to play this. I have a long relationship with this piece. I hadn't played this in over 20 years. I finished my conservatory degree in Portugal back when I was 18, before moving on to college, with actually this piece on my final recital, and I don't think I have played it since. And this year with the Beethoven year last year, and I thought it was appropriate. I was asked to play it for somewhere else, and I was like, okay, well, I think I haven't played this in a very long time, but I can bring this back. So it was just like, it's an old friend, and it felt very different bringing it back. I had all the physical memory and my mental idea of the piece from before. So it's certainly, you look at it differently, but it's there. I love playing this.
What's something specifically that felt different, or you had a different idea about after coming back?
Well, the first movement felt very different. It was the most different for me. I mean, the third movement, I think the conception was basically the same, and the feeling was the same. The first movement, I was juggling between playing it a little faster, a little more moving and more fluent, or slower, more a little more retractive, more. So I was debating, and I was trying out both things because I like both versions. And in the end, I think I went to the faster version a little bit. I mean, when I say faster, it's slightly, but to the more moving version, rather than the slower, more traditional approach.
One more question. I'm just curious how you think of the middle movement in relation to the other movements, because it's such an enigmatic movement.
It is a strange movement to play, and to suddenly there in the middle, in between both. I tried to make it as contrasting and as simple as possible, because we come from the C sharp minor, so such an intense first movement, and going to the third fast movement. So that one, I just wanted to have just a simple melody and not much fuss about that.
Right, wonderful. Well, thank you, Nuno, for
Thank you so much.
your performance.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much. I'm just checking if we're. Thank you, Nuno. Beautiful. Wonderful way to end our evening tonight. Thank you all for being here. Before we let you go, just a couple of announcements. Something's coming up a week from tomorrow.